Hello and welcome to this edition of the Grand Sports Center. It's a Tuesday edition of the show, and this is your one-stop sports show where you get to enjoy the very best of sports. I am Donald Agbabobo. You're welcome. Today we have quite an interesting lineup. The Super Eagles will take on the Crocodiles of Lesotho later today. We shall be building up to that match with all the discussions concerning preparations, what's happening in Super Eagles camp, latest developments from both the Super Eagles camp and from the camp of the Crocodiles. Also, we understand that Alex Iwobi has been passed fit to play in today's match, having had his second COVID-19 test returning negative, putting to question what actually transpired in Benin when he had that test that turned up positive. Well, we shall be talking about all this as we build up to the match against Lesotho later today. We also have Principals Cup. The action continues in the Principals Cup at the practice pitch of the National Stadium and also package B of the National Stadium, talking about the Moshood Abiola Stadium actually. And the finals of the football event will be played today, which it will be between Fosla Academy representing FCT and the Christ Comprehensive College from Kaduna State. That will be the final. For that match should be starting about now by 11 a.m. But so we shall be keeping you posted on events as they unfold out there. We'll be talking about the Principals Cup. You get to hear the Director of Sports Development, Grassroots Sports Development of the Federal Ministry of Sports, who is actually the coordinator of the Principals Cup, Dr. Ademola Are, talk on the program today about the Principals Cup. Also, Eyimba returned to winning ways in the Nigerian Professional Football League as they beat Dakar 1-0 yesterday in one of the matches of the Nigerian Professional Football League played yesterday. So they're back to winning ways. Tosin Omoyele was the goal scorer of that match. We shall be talking about that. And also in basketball, good news for Nigerian fans as we look ahead to the Olympics, because the Tigers seem to be waxing, talking about the national team, the Tigers seem to be waxing stronger and stronger as many of our basketball players actually doing well in the various leagues in the US and of course other parts of Europe and the world. Jordan Wora was involved in his first match for Milwaukee Bucks and he scored his first career double-double. That is scoring 10 assists with also 21 points. So that's the first time he's achieving that in his career. And also that match incidentally was his first start in the NBA. So we shall be talking about this development and what it all means for Nigerian basketball, especially as we look ahead to the Olympic Games later this year and also the Afro Basket taking place in Rwanda. From England, there are plans to return fans to the stadium very soon. Some projects are being used, some events are being used as test projects, a pilot project to test run how it will be like to get fans back in the stadium. So one of the FA Cup finals, built for the 17th, 18th of this month, will be used as a test run for that particular event, and to see how it will be allowing fans back into the stadium. They said they expect about 4,000 fans to be at that stadium, and with the hope that by the following weekend, when we have the Carabao Cup finals, they will have as much as 20. So we shall talk about how this will work out, and also European Cup qualifiers for the World Cup. European World Cup qualifiers continue today with a lot of fixtures. We shall be going through them, trying to preview what may likely happen later today in those matches. These are more on the program, so sit back and relax, and as usual, enjoy your time because we have quite a very interesting edition for you today. I want to welcome Mr. Arume to the show. Austin, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's always my pleasure to be here.
I'm blessed and blessed as well.
It's good to be part of today's program.
We shall take a break, and when we return, we shall go straight to the main issues of the day. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center, and this is your one-stop sports show. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on the Crocodiles of Lesotho in the last match in the 2021 AFCON qualifiers. As you know, the Super Eagles have already qualified, having beaten Benin on Saturday 1-0 to book a place in the finals. But then this match against Lesotho is a dead rubber, but then most people say it's of no significance. But then who says it will not be good if the Super Eagles and go through the entire qualifiers without losing a match. So that also serves as motivation. Also the fact that this match is being played in Lagos, the match football action, talk about Super Eagles matches returning to Lagos after 20 years absence. So these are more should be enough motivation. But then Austin, they're saying Grande should bring the changes, opportunity to try some other players. Are you also of this mindset?
Yeah, I think so. Because in as much as we want to look at us finishing stronger and finishing undefeated, but then the fact still remains that we have other players in the team who have not been tested, and all these guys, I believe, are actually capable of a place in the first team. So why not give it a try, give them a try? Let's see what they can actually do. And the fact that just like the name suggests, a dead rubber game, some might say we are looking at FIFA ranking. As far as I'm concerned, FIFA ranking is not that important. What is important to me is the fact that we want to actually develop our football. We want to see that some of these players have playing time when they get to play for the Eagles, and this is an opportunity for some who have not featured for a very long time to actually feature in a game like this. And who knows what we can actually get from those French players.
Well, Austin talking about fringe players. Most people are also thinking along this line. But then, given the fact that playing fringe players means you are not playing your best team, and anything could happen. A defeat in today's match could actually spoil the entire party. Like it puts a dent on the impressive run of the Super Eagles in the qualifiers so far. So, is this a risk worth taken by Grande if he decides to actually field these fringe players?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a risk, and I don't think the Super Eagles will be defeated by Lesotho. Judging by the head-to-head we've always had with Lesotho, there's every possibility that the Super Eagles is going to trail Lesotho with goals in that game. And I also agree with the fact that players should be, added, especially the players that were not fielding before. And I think. If you also look at the last game with Lesotho, Nigeria defeated Lesotho 4 goals to 2, yeah. And I feel that it's going to be an easy game. And I believe the Super Eagles is already, the party has already started.
I'm not underrating guys.
I'm not underrating.
Well, we'll come to that. But Grande also is saying that this serves as preparation for the World Cup qualifiers. World Cup qualifiers start in June, and by the end of May, the team will be coming together again to prepare for the World Cup qualifiers. And he says he's already looking forward to World Cup qualifiers. So this match is not just like a dead rubber for him. It serves as an opportunity to actually get his team more prepared for the World Cup qualifiers. So he's deciding he may end up playing his strongest side. And what do you make of this? A smart move too?
Yeah, also a smart move too. We are obviously playing the match in Lesotho, and we know how. Yes, sorry. I mean at Testing Balogun Stadium. I don't know why Lesotho came to my mind. Yes. We're obviously playing the match and at Testing Balogun Stadium. Yeah, already, so
exactly. You're so overwhelmed that you're going to watch them, right? That's why Lesotho came to your mind. Anyway.
Exactly, and I think it's going to be a very interesting one. And easygoing. The fact that the Lagos fans are anticipating, and the fact that the Super Eagles are obviously ready at this point in time to prove the Lagos fans right after so many
Lagos
years.
Fans now, how much of a motivation is it playing in Lagos? Fine. That whether we like it or not, there's not much at stake. That was why the Benonas were even surprised the way we celebrated the goal when we scored. Yeah. But little did they know that the fact that Eagles were determined to break that 8-year record, that was what was behind that celebration. And again, the fact that they wanted to break the 8-year record was a motivation for the Eagles to go all out. So the fact that they are playing in Lagos, despite we know that this match is of little significance, of no consequence at all to the outcome of the group at the end of the day, is the fact that the match being played in Lagos enough motivation to get the Super Eagles firing today?
Yeah, I think so. I think just like we keep saying, the Lagos fans, they are so crazy about the Super Eagles. You can go to play your matches and it will just be like a normal atmosphere. But then whenever Nigeria is playing in Lagos, it's like there's a different atmosphere. So that alone is actually a motivation, for the players. Some want to argue the fact that, they've not been to Lagos for a very long time. So how is it going to be like? Is it going to be a new experience? Are we going to witness a different Lagos from what we have known in the past? Let's just see how it
I
pans
assure you,
out.
Lagos is always Lagos. I assure you on that. Because when it comes to football, the passion never dies. It's even much more. They are even much more passionate now that they've not seen them play for a long time. And well, for this crop of Super Eagles players, it's going to be a very different experience from what they've been used to. Some of them have not really played. I mean, we're not born in Nigeria, so majority of them, and all the while they've been coming, they've been playing in Uyo, just like Austin said. You can't compare it with Lagos or Benin or Kaduna with Lagos. So it's a different ball game. And do you see it affecting the players in any way? Although Truth Ekong is saying that they are prepared, but then that's just Truth Ekong. There are other players who are even younger, they're even newer to the team. So what do you make of it all?
Like I said, the game in Lagos is going to be an interesting game, especially with the fact that the Lagos fans are anticipating, and I think that game is going to pan out to be much more interesting than we, I think basically the Lesothos are even beginning to talk, but better still, I think the Lesothos at this point in time should come and enjoy, what Nigeria will have to offer them at the end of the day, in terms of goals and in terms of.
Okay, that's interesting. They are also like Preston said, they are talking tough.
Yeah.
So they're taking it very seriously. Well, because for them, beating Nigeria will be one of the biggest achievements from these qualifiers.
Yeah, definitely, because if you look at this particular game, just like the name suggests, dead rubber, they don't have anything at stake in this game, but then they still have their pride to protect. They will not just want to come to Nigeria and bow out just like that. They want to finish this qualifier on a very, very high note, and this is where we have to be careful.
And the best way to finish it is to beat Nigeria.
Definitely, because Nigeria is like a powerhouse of soccer as far as.
So that means you are set for a very interesting match today, like you've been saying, right?
Yes, we are set for a very interesting match between Nigeria and Lesotho.
But what do you make of the issue of Alex Iwobi? Kenatro actually expressed his reservations as regards the test that was done in Benin, and it's not been proved right. What do you think the Beniners were up to?
One wouldn't know what they are obviously up to. Probably they're trying to reduce some certain players, or probably because I don't see any reason exactly. I don't see any reason why Alex Iwobi just came in and all of a sudden he's been tested positive and he's back, and he's so there's a conflicting issue surrounding the whole case, and I agree with Kenneth Roy on this.
And given the fact that we saw their antics when they refused to switch on the floodlights in the training, the Alex Iwobi, so all these were all antics, and it backfired because I think it all propelled the Eagles more. So why are they even angry that the Eagles celebrated the goal?
Well, I feel there's more to that celebration than it meets the ordinary eye. Now, before that very much, the Beniners were talking tough, how they're going to beat Nigeria, and it's like Nigeria, the Super Eagles players, they actually took it personally that they're going to break that 8 years record, and when that happened, it was actually a cause for joy. And mind you, before that game, the Super Eagles had already qualified. By the virtue of Lesotho and Sierra Leone actually playing out that goalless draw, so it was easy for them to play cool, relax, the tempo a little bit, but they were going out for that win. It shows that they were actually determined to tell the Beniners that forget about the fact that not really had it good in recent times, but then whenever we want to play, we shall know how to win, and we're going to win you at your backyard.
But didn't they go too far with the Iwobi issue? This is talking about health issues now. Fine, you want to win, then actually, don't you think that authorities, FIFA, should actually launch an investigation, or CAF itself, into this, because it has to be the health of a player. If he had actually been in isolation, in error, due to wrong diagnosis, due to as a result of the test result. I think it's something that is worth investigating, because you can use other antics. You can switch up the floodlights. You could make the hotel uncomfortable for them, but this is the health of an individual, and I don't think it should be an issue when it comes to football like this.
I also do not think so. I think they went too far, and they should be sanctioned, honestly speaking.
And I think,
but I obviously think it's a passerby, because we still won that game irrespective.
But then there needs to be sanctions, because so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Because when I imagine what happened,
because you could imagine if the stakes were even higher, and Nigeria had gone on to lose.
That would be a different
story.
Yes, definitely. And I imagine it will be now getting back to his club, and then I'm sure there will be problems, and that is where Iwobi will start having problems, because they might not allow him to come straight.
They want to confirm. They confirm it.
So I think at club level, Iwobi is going to encounter a slight hitch, because of what happened in Benin Republic.
Yes, indeed. Well, I hope he gets to play today, at least to make up for not playing, for disappointment of missing out of the Benin match, and unleash that anger on the against the yards for what happened to him in Benin on Lesotho today. I know that's what Blessing is talking about when we talk about painting them with goals. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. We hope that the match turns out to be very interesting, and we wish the Super Eagles well. We'll take a break now. When we return, we shall be talking about the Principals Cup. It has reached the final stage. It started since Friday. All the zones, geopolitical zones of the country, representatives have been here since Saturday. Competition started on Sunday. We've had winners in the table tennis, and of course the finals of the football event is taking place right now, about this time, at the practice pitch of the National Stadium between Fosla Academy of the FCT and the Christ Comprehensive College of Grande State. We shall be talking about the Principals Cup when we return from the short break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. This is your one-stop sports show where you get to enjoy the very best of sports. Moving on, the Principals Cup, the national finals, is taking place right about now. It has started months ago, right from the state level. We had state champions emerging for the various states, and we now went to the zonal finals where zonal champions emerged. Now we're at the national finals where all the zonal finalists, all the zonal champions are competing. In the so far so good in football, it's been quite an interesting time out there with so many interesting matches. But it has reached the final stage. In the semi-finals played yesterday, first semi-finals, Fosla Academy defeated Owerri City College of Imo State by 1-0. Fosla Academy is the representative of FCT and the North Central Zone, and where Owerri City College representing the Southeast Zone. So it was 1-0 in favor of Fosla Academy. Interestingly, well, then the second semi-final saw Christ Comprehensive College, Kaduna, beat Orile Elugun Comprehensive School of Ogun State, representing the Southwest Zone. The Northwest representative, Christ Comprehensive College of Kaduna State, won 3-1 against the Southwest representative, Orile Elugun Comprehensive School. So, setting the stage for the finals today, which will see Fosla Academy taking on Christ Comprehensive College. So, North Central versus Northwest. That is the final of this year's Principals Cup. Well, at the commencement of action on Saturday, we were at the practice pitch of National Stadium, and the Director of Sports, Grassroots Sports Development of the Federal Ministry of Sports, Youth and Sports, who also is the coordinator of the National Principals Cup, Dr. Ademola Are, spoke with us, and this is what he had to say about the Principals Cup, which is going on right now.
The finals of the National Principals Cup is what we are witnessing in Abuja today. We went through the states finals in all the states of the Federation, including FCT, and we had the zonal finals in all the 6 regional sports offices of the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. And here today we see the youngsters from the finals who qualified from the zones to be in the finals here in Abuja. And these finals will be in football, athletics, and table tennis. In table tennis, we have 24 athletes. Football, we have 6 teams, 1 each from each zone. And in table tennis, we have 144, 72 male, 72 female, representing different states in the country.
Dr. Ademola Are, the Director of Grassroots Sports Development, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports, and also the coordinator of the National Principals Cup, talking about the Principals Cup. And in the table tennis event, we've had winners already. In the boys singles, we have Temilen Yajibade as the winner. The girls singles champion was Akim Saidat, and in boys doubles, we had a pair of John Matthew and Samuel Boboye, while in the girls doubles we have Akim Sedat and Kabira Ayola. So champions in the table tennis events have emerged already. So these are the champions, these are the future stars of this country. This is the maiden edition of the revitalized or revamped, or the Principals Cup has been moribund for some time. It's been brought back courtesy of the Minister of Sport, and this is the maiden edition of the revamped, revitalized Principals Cup. We hope to be seeing it yearly. It's going to be a yearly event from now on. So we hope that these stars that have emerged winners will be nurtured into stardom. Also, the Principals Cup, I must tell you, is attracting a lot of interest, both from within and outside the country. Interestingly, there is some interest from Japan. There is a Japanese scout called Manasori Ito, who is presently around. He said he is working with the Nigerian Olympic Committee. They have some arrangements. So he is here with plans actually that will benefit some of these students who are featuring this competition. The plan is to select some of the students on scholarship to Japan, because there's an arrangement in place that will see them be taken to Japan to enjoy the benefit of this scholarship. But then he said about 23 students will be selected at the end of the day from amongst the lot that we have presently taking part in these finals of the Principals Cup. Let's get to hear Manasiro Ito speak on this issue.
So I am here for the Principal Cup to scout talented Nigerian children to Japan. So the first of all, of course, a achievement and a score and a record. However, not only that, but also the personalities is very important to be adapted in Japanese society. So through my eyes and ears and my sense, and also then know about the environment of the children, and then I will select and bring it back to Japan. So those children are staying in the dormitories or coach's house in Japan. There's a scholarship program for 2 private high schools in Japan. So far, for 6 years, 23 children from Nigeria to Japan.
Yeah, Manasori Ito, they're speaking about the plans for the players or athletes that will be selected from the ongoing Principals Cup. Well, Austin, we've said a lot about the Principals Cup on this program, but then it's so good to know that the finals is taking place, and we've had a successful event so far. We know that it will be successfully concluded. It's right from the state, zonal level, not the national finals. How good is it that the Principal Cup is back?
Well, it's an interesting one. The fact that it has been away for some time now, we've not seen something like this. I think this is going to be the first of its kind. The first of its kind when it comes to Principal Cup. I think in the past it used to be just football, but now we have other sports being added, and I think this is a good one, and it's an avenue for us to discover new talents, because I know talents are abound all over this country. But the problem is, how to actually amass these talents, nurture them, and bring them to the world. I feel this is an opportunity to do that, and kudos must go to the Ministry of Sports and youth development.
Yes, the Ministry of Sports say they have plans for these students or these stars that will be covered from this competition, the Principal's Cup. They'll be handed over to the various federations for one word nurturing to stardom. What else do you think they could actually do?
Well, I think judging by the fact that these are young chaps, I think investing especially in young minds like this is a welcome development. I think at this point in time, we know the next generation of stars that we have, at hand. I think the basic thing is just to support them, the more, try to imbibe positive vibes in them, especially when it comes to competitions, and the fact that they need to, go further than where they are at this point in time.
Yes, indeed. The Principal's Cup very much on. The finals taking place right about now. Fusla Academy versus Christ Comprehensive College. I'm sure that by the time we come your way tomorrow, we shall be serving you details of the outcome and also how it all panned out on the final day of the Principal's Cup. We'll take a break now. When we return, we shall be talking about the Nigerian Professional Football League, where Eimba back to winning ways. Well, let's see what happened. They beat Dakar 1-0 yesterday, and in another match, Jigawa Golden Stars beat MFM 1-0. I'm just looking at them. Let's just take it before we go on that short break, because we just wrap up with it for this segment. Then we'll take the break before we go on the break. So Eimba back to winning ways. They lost midweek last week to MFM. Just a small blip, you may say, but then they are back to winning ways.
Yeah, they're back to winning ways, and it's actually a morale boosting win for them. The fact that it's just 3 points between them and the summit of the league table.
And they have quite a few games in hand.
They have, I think, over 3 games, at hand. So I think it will give them that confidence, going into their next match. And the fact that, they are missing 2 of their key players, who are on an assignment with the Super Eagles, and they're able to actually get this win. I think it can only get better. And they're
going to come back better players, having beaten Super Eagles camp. And Jigawa Golden Stars beat MFM 1-0. MFM, when they beat Eimba midweek, we thought that fine, they finally got in themselves back, but they failed again to Jigawa. Jigawa Golden Stars themselves have not been doing badly recent times. I think they had a draw last weekend, so it's good to see them continue on a good run.
Yeah, it's good to see Jigawa Golden Stars continue on a good run, and a disappointing one from MFM, if you would ask me, because for them to have beaten Eimba and coming back to play Jigawa Golden Stars, and obviously being defeated by Jigawa Golden Stars. Well, that's the NPFL for you. A lot of
uncertainties.
Yeah, uncertainties.
Yes, that's why anything that can string some bits of some good that string some good results together for some period of time, you just find that team going as far as winning the league. And that's why we say teams like Eimba that have the habit of not losing too often. Like I said, they lost to MFM midweek was just a blip. Normally Eimba, they either win or they draw, and that's why they've been so consistent and always been among the top teams in the Nigerian league in recent times. Yeah,
I think one of the things I discovered with Eimba is that they have this niche for developing players, because if I look around the MPFL, I see most of these guys who have played for Eimba before. It's like you have to pass through, Eimba. In Rivers United, we have well over 2 or 3 of them.
Saying after Eimba are taking the best out of them, they give it to the other team. They nurture others. Again. That's why they're always winning. That's what you're saying. But then, for Sunshine Stars, this is not the best of time. They've not won the last 11 matches. And last weekend they lost to Rivers United. Their coach at one time, Benga Ogumbote, said they need to recruit more players, that the quality of players they have is not just good enough. That's what he said. But their defenders on their base, even taking it further, he said referees are to blame for their poor performance. So excuses. Sunshine Stars, Well, is it not better that they just try and identify the real cause of their woes, and then rather than pinning it on one issue or the other?
I think that's the point. They should try to identify the real problems, for their woes, like you rightly said, than just pinning it to one thing. Excuses are not accepted, especially in the MPFL. Why one team is trying to, struggle it out, try to make it out. You should also, think of how to, instead of, throwing fingers on one thing to another. So just try and work it out.
They are 17th on the table, just 18 points. They've not won in their last 11 matches. But then they can take a cue from a team like Abia Warriors. They were once in this kind of situation. But today they are close to 10th position in the league.
Well, I'll say Abia Warriors' case is different. When Abia Warriors were actually on that poor run of form, we didn't get to hear something like this, pitching blame on one team, then you move to the other one. You talked about experience.
So you just focused on the problem.
So you just focus on the problem, identify it, and then.
But they needed to give a three-match ultimatum to the coach. Maybe are you advocating that such as does that as well? Because it seemed to have worked out for Abia Warriors.
Yes, probably. Benga Gulbete is an experienced coach. Probably, maybe he needs something like an awakening, something that will actually, open his eyes. Yes. That is actually on the hot zone, on a hot seat at this point in time.
Yes, and there was so much about the Young Premier Football League. We hope that Sanchez will get it right again, because we know that at one time their striker Yusuf was Sadiq Yusuf was the top scorer in the league with 7 goals. I think he has 8 goals now, but his goals seems to have dried up, and the drying of his goals also is closely connected with the poor form of Sunshine Stars. So maybe Coach Benga should try and devise a way of getting Sadiq to be scoring again, and then we'll see, rather than making 1 or 2 excuses around this. Well, we'll talk more about the MPFL, the subsequent edition of the program. For now, that's where we stop on the MPFL. I will go on this short break, and when we return, we shall talk basketball. Good news to young basketball fans. Jordan Wora, representing us well in the NBA, was only drafted this year, and he's already making a name for himself. At some point, he wasn't doing too well. He had to be sent to the G League, talking about the lower league of the NBA. But because of injury worries, problems in the Milwaukee Bucks team, he was brought back to the main team, and he had his first start yesterday and scored his first double-double, 21 points with 10 assists. Good one for a player that is just making his debut in the NBA. We're talking about this and other stories in the world of sports when we come back from this short break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. This is your one-stop sports show. We're going to enjoy the very best of sports. Jordan Wora, for now, not a household name in the NBA, but in the years to come, with the way he's going, the way he has started, I'm sure that he's set for the big times in the NBA. Yeah,
I think so. I think not a lot of people knew about Jordan Wora. Some will even argue he's not in Nigeria because he doesn't look Nigerian at all, but then I bet you he's a Nigerian, and he's actually doing us proud. He went through the ranks of Louisville. That's where he played his college football, and then his basketball. His college basketball. I don't know why football is ringing in my head. Probably it's because of the match between Super Eagles and Lesotho.
She had Lesotho ringing in my head, and you are doing football. Anyway, it's a football day, so
yeah, definitely. So now we have. He's now playing for the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA. So the fact that he was not given enough time, and a lot of people complain about his physique. I think that's where his problem stems from. But the injury to most of the key players in the Milwaukee Bucks team actually forced them, to recall Nwora. And on his debut, he actually scored a double-double.
That's 21 points, 10 assists in a single game in his first start. In the NBA, that's a very good outing for him. How good is this for the Tigers, the national team? We know that he's part of that team, And how good is this for the Tigers?
Very good for the Tigers, if you'd ask me. You know, what we always want to hear is the fact that there are other players, you know, cropping up. We know Jordan Warrior is a very good player, basketball player, no doubt about it. And I think it's a good one for the Tigers, you know, judging by the fact that we've got experienced, tons of experienced players, you know, making their debut abroad, you know, in different leagues, especially in the NBA per se. So I think it's a good one for the Tigers, and the fact that they are, you know, they are preparing ahead of the Olympics.
Yeah, is that talking about Coach Moore? Is a member of the Tigers coaching crew.
Yeah.
His dad is a member of the Tigers national team coaching crew. So he has a basketball coach dad, and he himself was part of the last AfroBasket, right? But he wasn't. He didn't get to play much.
Yeah.
He was very young. He didn't get to play much then, but he was part of that team. Maybe the dad just included him to have an experience. But now, do you see him being part of the Tigers team? You know, we have quite a lot of players now in the NBA and playing very well internationally.
Well,
do you see him being able to make the Tigers team to the Olympics?
Well, I think if he wants to be part of this Tigers team, he needs to work his socks off. Because if I look at the roster this Tiger team is actually building, you know, it will be quite difficult, you know, for him to walk, you know, straight right into the team. And this is where this performance will actually do him good. It will do him good, the fact that, you know, it will actually put him into consideration as it regards, you know, the call-up. Because if I look at the Tigers team, I feel there's enough competition, and then we still have the likes of Ashura, who is another rookie as well, and he's doing very, very well with the Miami Heat. So it's going to be a tough competition for sport on the Tigers roster, and I feel is also in consideration, but then it's not a guarantee. You know, it's not guaranteed that he will be invited for the Olympics at the moment.
Yeah, for somebody doing so well in the NBA, not guaranteed his place in the Tigers team. Shows how good this Tigers team is at the moment. No wonder they are #1 in Africa, and they've been so much untouchable in recent times. Swept through the AfroBasket qualifying group with ease, winning every match, and that tells you the gulf between Nigeria and other African teams. But what we're looking at is at what stage. Are they good enough to get to the podium, to get a medal at the Olympic Games? Most people think they are good enough, given the array and quality of stars at the disposal of the team. Well, for Jordan Moore, we can only wish him well as he continues his good run in the NBA. He was actually selected by Milwaukee Bucks at the #5 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft back in last November. And through 14 games so far in the season, in his first NBA season, he's averaging 5.4 points, 2.0 rebounds, while shooting 41% from the field and 40% in three-point attempts. So not a bad one, starting very well, but then we hope he continues, is consistent. That's what we want to see, and brings it to bear if eventually he's included into the Tigers team. Still talking other sports, we're looking at lawn tennis now, where Naomi Osaka is on a winning run of 23 matches. You know, we are used to winning unbeaten run in football. So Liverpool went so number of matches. Manchester City recently were on a winning run, and but in tennis, this one is an individual thing. She's not lost a match since the last U.S. Open. She won the U.S. Open. She followed through the Australian Open. She won the Australian Open. So far in the Miami Open, she's gotten to the quarterfinals. She's not lost a match. 23. She's world number 2. Did you think that it will be much longer before she becomes number 1? At the rate she's going.
It won't take much longer. You know, I think before the events finished proper, I think it will even rank her as number 1. You know, she's good. She's got tons of experience. When you're talking about long tennis, especially in the female category, you mentioned the likes of Naomi Osaka. I see what she did in the Australian Open against Serena Williams. I even made Serena Williams even cried. You know, so she's good at the top.
Way, made her cry.
You know, she's always at the top of her game anytime.
So obviously we are looking at the potential world number one. Coach Ashley Batty, who's number one, just hanging there by the thread. Because she's not actually played for a long time. This is actually the first tournament she's playing. Though she is doing well right now, but she's not actually played for a long time due to coronavirus. So, like Besson said, she may take over the number one spot very soon. And should that happen? Would that just confirm the fact that she's a dominant tennis player at the moment?
Well, at the moment, I feel if she continues like this, she's going to reign as world number one for a very long time, because I don't see any competition for her at the moment, because all the others who are supposed to challenge her, they're not playing particularly well. So I feel she's going to hold sway to that number one position for a very, very long time. And she's young, she's just 23. So I believe her personality and she has this never say die attitude. I think that's what is working for her, because not a lot of people will go through what she has gone through and will still remain unscathed, because she's gone through a lot, cyber abuse and a lot, but she keeps going, and it's kudos to her, kudos to her mentality,
yes,
and kudos to her spirit.
We wish her well, and we'll continue to monitor her and see how far she goes. We know that she's destined for the top, just a matter of time, like Leslie said, and then we'll see when that time happens. We'll be here to celebrate her, because we know that for now she is obviously the dominant female tennis player in the world. We'll take a break now, and when we return, we should go back to football and see what's happening in UK, where plans are on to return fans to the stadium, using some event as pilots to test run it. And one of the FA Cup semi-final matches, the match between Chelsea and Manchester City, will serve as a pilot event to test the return of fans to the stadium. So talking about this, and also looking at the World Cup qualifier matches coming up later today, after this break. Welcome back to the Grand Sports Center. This is your one-stop sports show where you get to enjoy the very best of sports. Well, for a long time, fans have not been in the stadium, and we know why, coronavirus, but then things are easing up, especially in the UK, where a lot of people have been vaccinated, and the authorities feel that it's safe to welcome fans, at least some number of fans, back to the stadium. Actually, they are using some events to serve as as pilot events to test run this measure. And one of them is the FA Cup semi-finals, Chelsea, Manchester City, coming up on the 17th of April, actually. And well, it will be a different atmosphere from when there were no fans and there are fans. Most of these teams have gotten used to the new normal, playing without fans. How much of impact do you think it will have on the outcome of the match?
Well, I'm just glad. I think the most important thing is that the match we played, the Chelsea-Man City match, is going to be played. If it's going to be pilots or no pilots, the basic thing is that I'm glad that at least some amount of fans will be at the stadium, especially to cheer, the players. I mean, it's going to be, quite interesting, especially with the fact that fans have not been in the stadium for a while, and the fact that the players have obviously been playing without no fans, so I think it's a welcome development, and I just hope that it pans out, it comes out, well at the end of the day.
And we are looking at 4,000 fans for this time around. Then maybe by the time the Carabao Cup finals come, which will be 2 weeks after the semi-finals, that will be between Manchester City and Tottenham. They should be expecting about 20,000 fans. Bobby, before the end of the season, we have half of the stadium back. I'm looking at the fact that fans are coming back to the stadium and its impact on the last round of matches in the league. Are we going to see some results that you will feel that had fans been around, things will be different on the league table?
Yeah, I think so. I think most of these clubs are suffering, because of the fact that fans are not around. You talk about the support they give to the club, especially, when they're at home. They are like the 12th men on the pitch. And then financial wise, when you're talking about finance now, what they give to the club as well. They sustain these clubs both in spirits and in finance. So I believe it's a good one for all stakeholders, everybody involved. And then the fact that these fans are coming back is going to change, the face of the season, especially now that we are getting to the end of the season. You will see, some results will begin to go the way you never really imagined. Yeah, not the way you expected. And then it's going to be interesting though, because football is not really it without the fans.
I just hope that some of the teams battling relegation will not go on a winning spree that they would have wished that had fans been around at the beginning. Probably they would not have found themselves in such a situation. Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed. It's so interesting to know that fans will be coming back to the stadia, so that atmosphere, that ambience will be used to when matches are going on will return, and it can only mean well for the game of football. Still talking the game of football, tonight more European World Cup qualifiers will be played across Europe, and let's quickly take a look at some of the matches in Group A. Azerbaijan will be up against Serbia, Luxembourg against Portugal. Serbia surprisingly are topping that group, Portugal second. We know what happened the last time when they played a 1-1 draw, controversial 2-2 draw. Controversially, Cristiano Ronaldo's goal was ruled out, but then that's meant Serbia remained top of the group with 4 points. Not the same point with Portugal, but then blessing, having had a draw with Portugal, a good momentum going to play against Azerbaijan for Serbia, right?
A good momentum, honestly, because if you saw how it all panned out with Portugal, how Serbia at the end of the day, tried to equalize the 2 goals that Portugal gave at the end of the day, a good one for Serbia, because going to play Azerbaijan is going to be it's going to bring in that positive mindset, of scoring goals in that game, and the fact that they are top of the table will give them that spur, to do well.
But Azerbaijan can also take a lot of positives from their match against Portugal. They lost by only 1-0. Yeah. So, and that could also be can also ginger them to have that self-belief that they can at least reduce Portugal to just 1-goal defeat. Probably they could do better against Serbia.
Yeah, that's true. That's where the game of football, comes to play. You never can tell until the final minute. But at the same time, there's a push one way or the other. So I think until the final whistle is blown, we'll know how it all pans out.
Yeah, Luxembourg beat Republic of Ireland 1-0 away from home, surprisingly, last week. And on the weekend, now they are playing at home to Portugal. Portugal has been shaky. Do you see this as another dicey one for Portugal? Because they don't need to drop more points. They have dropped enough points already.
Portugal do not need to drop a point. We saw even how Cristiano Ronaldo got pissed off at the end of the day, especially when the goal was disallowed. We saw how he threw his captain ban because they weren't expecting that to happen. You had 2 goals at the end of the day. He disallowed goals, so he was not happy, and I think the Portugal team at this point in time will want to consolidate on that. They were expecting to get a better side from Serbia, but I think going into this game they would want to. They're preparing, ahead of this game so much that they need that win. They need that win, and they need to top, especially Serbia, I guess.
Anyway, the next group we'll see Belgium in Group E take on Belarus, Wales take on Czech Republic. Interestingly, Czech Republic are also topping this group ahead of Belgium, though they have the same number of points. They drew the last time, 1-1. So it's like most of the big teams are struggling in these qualifiers. But then how do you see Belgium, Belarus? Another one-sided affair?
I don't think so. Even though I see Belgium winning, but I don't see it as a one-sided affair. Cyprus, they're not big names when it comes to football.
Belarus, right?
Belarus, they're not big names when it comes to football. But I feel with the way this Belgium team are playing, you know, it's going to be very, very, very difficult.
Is it about the way the Belgian team is playing, or the fact that they are no longer minnows in football? Like every team is now there. So Luxembourg beat Republic of Ireland in Dublin on the weekend.
Well, I feel if they play up to their best, you know, I'm talking about the Belgian team now, you know, they should be able to beat this Belarusian team, you know, with relative ease. But then when you see the way they are struggling in recent times, I feel it's going to be a difficult.
Are they missing Eden Hazard?
Probably. You know, Eden Hazard is like.
But they have Lukaku, they have De Bruyne, they have 20 players. Anyway, Wales, Czech Republic. Czech Republic surprised everybody when they held Belgium. Belgium forced them to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
But Wales too will be looking to bounce back from the loss to Belgium and also probably get back to winning ways. So against a Czech Republic side that is also motivated because they are top in the group. How do you see it? Well,
I think it's going to be a tough one. Wales playing at home against this Czech Republic team. We know what Wales can do on their day. You know, it's not like they have exceptional players, but they have young stars in the team who can actually do the job for them. The likes of Ampadu, Woodburn. You know, most of them are relatively young, and if they decide to up their game, you know, the Czech Republic team will have, you know, I think a hand-filled day, and it's very, very difficult to predict this game. You know, more so that Wales is playing at home. Yeah,
yes, indeed. In Group G, Gibraltar will take on Netherlands. Montenegro will be at home to Norway, and Montenegro, incidentally, are second in this group behind Turkey. They both have 6 points. While the Netherlands are third, Norway fourth. At the beginning of this campaign, we thought that it would be Netherlands, Norway, then Jordan, but it's the reverse. Well, it's still early days, sure. But Gibraltar, Netherlands. Gibraltar, they have 2 matches so far, and they play in Netherlands. Do they stand a chance?
Well, they should stand this chance. Well, I wouldn't really know what to say until the final wins, because Gibraltar obviously is a small team, yes, and they've not obviously done well in their 2 matches. But I think if they put their heads, you know, high, and there should be a possibility. I'm sure they are playing hosts. You know, they should take advantage of that, you know, and give Norway, right? Netherlands a run for their money.
So the other match we've seen Montenegro take on Norway, Turkey take on Latvia. We're trying to run fast because time is running out on us. Group H, we see Cyprus versus Slovenia, Croatia take on Malta, Slovakia take on Russia. Russia top this group with 6 points, followed by Slovenia, Croatia, 3 points. So Russia opportunity to consolidate their grip at the top of the group as they take on Slovakia.
Yes, and it's an opportunity for them also to actually, you know, qualify, you know, from this group. Because if I look at this group, I feel this Russian team, they have a head over every other team. You know, the team that I actually thought would dominate that group is Croatia. But then, if I look at what's happening with this Croatia team now, most of their key players are aging, and it's like they don't have a backup for these guys. So I feel it's an opportunity for Russia to consolidate their lead on the top of the table, as well as, you know, qualify for the World Cup without going through the playoff.
Yeah, so far they've had 100% record. The only team with 100% record in this group so far, and they look good. A win today will actually make their path to the World Cup a lot much straighter and smoother, if I may use that word. But don't write off Croatia. The World Cup finalists last, they played the finals against France, so for them to reach the finals means that it's a good side. They play against Malta, and Malta, we can say they are not such an illustrious opponent. But then, for what we see in this competition, in this qualifier so far, you don't write off any team.
Don't write off any team in this qualifier. You know, you never can tell, because a small team, you know, can surprise everyone. You know, we've seen so many instances, you know, especially the likes of Comoros we saw at the Nations Cup qualifiers. So you just can't write off any teams. A team could just surprise you no matter what.
Well, this is the much we can take on the Euro qualifiers, and as we wrap it up on the program today, let's quickly tell you about Sergio Aguero. He's leaving Manchester City. Well, for Manchester, a lot of Manchester City fans will be heartbroken. Yeah. His contract expires at the end of the season, and the club has said they will not renew it. Yeah. In good faith.
Well, what can I say? Sergio Aguero has been
such an illustrious servant.
Yeah, he has been a loyal servant. He has done enough for this team, and I think it's going to be one of the best striker, if not the best striker, Man City have ever had.
Yes, 257 goals in 384 appearances for them. For you that are non-Man City fans, are you people celebrating?
Of course, I'm celebrating him. He should be given a Man City award for excellence.
I mean, you're celebrating that he's leaving Premiership. So no more torment from Aguero, right? Anyway, whichever side of the divide you belong to, you just can't but acknowledge the fact that this is a very good footballer. I mean, somebody that's been playing Premiership since 2011, this is about the 10th year, and in the process he has scored 457 goals over 384 matches, and he has won the league title 4 times, has won the League Cup 5 times, has won the FA Cup once with Manchester City. The only title he has not won with Manchester City is a European UEFA Champions League, and it could happen this season before he leaves. So who says he can't win it before he leaves this season? So we can't help but congratulate Sergio Aguero, one of the few South American players that have actually stayed long in the Premiership. Sometimes most South American players struggle, even if they don't. If they do well, they don't stay long because they always eye the La Liga. We have Real Madrid and Barcelona before, but then he has been around. Actually, he came from La Liga, so probably he has seen La Liga before coming. That's why he wasn't too eager to leave the Premiership. But then it was given to him. He has found himself in the same bracket, the likes of the same company, and David Silva. They are going to have their statues placed at the Etihad to commemorate and to honor them, their contribution towards the success of the club over the years. So wish Sergio Aguero well in his new assignment or wherever he's going to. We understand that Barcelona is one of the teams that is signing. Well, that would be a good one to see him reunite with Lionel Messi. It just means that the Barcelona team will be much more stronger than they are presently. Well, so much on the program, and this way we'll wrap it up on the show. We hope you've had a nice time with us. We'll be back same time tomorrow with another interesting edition of the program. And we want to wish Super Eagles well on behalf of myself, Donald Agbabobo, and Austin Arume, and Blessing Bassi, and of course the entire production crew have been doing a good job behind the scene. I want to wish you the very best of the day, and wish the Super Eagles good luck.
Alfred.